Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my breakdown of episodes 1 and 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Let me just say, I have been looking forward to this for forever. I love the original 3 seasons of Daredevil, and I didn't know what to expect going into this, and I was not let down. It was like, man, it was like seeing an old friend after a long time. You know, the show picks right up where with the same characters. We had that moment in the beginning, and that was really painful to watch. You know, I really like Foggy. Oh, by the way, I guess I should tell you right now, this will contain spoilers. If you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2, turn away. Don't watch this right now. Come back later and watch it, because there will be some spoilers. But let's get into this. So yes, Foggy dies, and man, I was mad. But they did it in a good way. You know, the show picks up, and we see Foggy and Karen and Matt, and they are leaving their law office. We see the sign above them, and it's just kind of like where they picked up when they were on the end of season 3, when they were hinting that they were going to add Karen to it, and they would be this team. And then, see how they leave, and they go to a bar to celebrate. I believe it's a detective's retirement. He ends up becoming one of Matt's. It becomes Matt's PI later in episode 1, but he's retiring from the force. He's talking with Karen, and they're kind of hinting that they might rekindle their feelings for each other. And Foggy gets a phone call and goes outside. Matt uses his ability to hear to pick up on what Foggy's talking about. It turns out Foggy has hit a witness, and the witness, it feels like he's in trouble. He's hiding out in Foggy's apartment. Matt goes out to check and see what's going on, because he can hear him. And when he gets outside, Foggy spills the beans, tells him that he's hiding him, and that he thought he's just paranoid. And then they hear some kind of altercation taking place over the phone, and Matt goes into Daredevil mode, and Foggy stays on the phone. But as it turns out, it was Poindexter. You know, he was in, I believe, season 3. He was the Daredevil. He was the guy in the Daredevil costume that was causing trouble, and he was actually after Karen. I think Foggy too. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think he was after both of them. Matt messed him up pretty bad as Daredevil. Isn't that right? Or was it Kingpin? I remember him getting hurt pretty bad. He breaks his back, and they do some kind of work on him to repair him. But anyway, he is back, and he wasn't even looking for the witness. He was actually looking for Foggy. And Matt can hear, he goes to Foggy's apartment, but with his super hearing, he can hear that the gun, and he knows that Foggy's the target, so he tries to get back. And it's really neat to see just how the money is spent in this one versus the lower budget Netflix version, because you can see Daredevil jumping around and flying around using his stick weapon, whatever it is. And it's really neat to see this version of Daredevil. I mean, it's all pretty much the same. It's just they had a bigger budget. But it's so good to see Charlie Cox back as Daredevil and Matt Murdock, because he's such a good actor, and his acting is just top notch. It's on full display here. The cast is amazing. But anyway, Foggy does get shot, and Poindexter, who I'm assuming is going to be Bullseye, goes to kill Karen, and Daredevil shows up just in time to knock him through the window into the bar, and they get into this big fight, and it's so epic. It's so much like the fight scenes from the original Daredevil series. Those are if you haven't seen it, man, you're missing out on something. If you like fight scenes, just gritty fight scenes, these are some of the best. And I believe the director for that, the choreography or fight director, I believe, whatever you call him in movies, he is back for this one. They brought back some really good people to do this show, and you can tell the fight scene was amazing. You know, the Daredevil's just beating the crap out of him, and Poindexter's flinging blades, and actually Matt has him sticking out all over him. They fight their way through the bar into a hallway. The hallway scenes are always amazing in Daredevil. They get upstairs to the roof, and Matt can hear Foggy's heartbeat stop, and then he just goes into a rage. And it reminds me a lot of when in the original series, the Punisher tells Matt that he's just one bad day away from being him, and that's kind of what we see right here. Matt throws Poindexter off the roof just after Foggy dies, and Matt takes the mask off and just drops it. And he has these blades sticking out of him where Poindexter's been throwing them at him, and he just screams out. And it's pretty much a destroyed Matt there when you think about it, because he just lost his best friend, and he, in a fit of rage, he kind of lost who he was, because he would not kill before, and that goes to his religious beliefs. And he pretty much just decides to quit being Daredevil. And then we have a time skip, and there's a lot going on. Karen has moved to San Francisco. Is it San Francisco or San Diego? I think it's San Francisco. Poindexter is on trial, and Matt's speaking at his trial. He has moved out of Hell's Kitchen. He is no longer the Daredevil. Kingpin isn't Kingpin anymore after his last run-in with Echo. If you know who that is, you know. If you don't, you should check it out. But he is trying to be a better person. You can still see the scar where Echo shot him in the face. And he's now running for mayor. And we find out through the course of the episode that he does win mayor. And there is a really tense scene where Matt and Kingpin have a talk. Or I guess I should say Fisk, because he's not the Kingpin anymore. Have a talk about the changes in their lives. And Fisk tells him that he's not going to let vigilantes run wild. And that doesn't really matter to Matt, because he's right now at this point he's no longer the Daredevil. And then that's essentially pretty much the first episode. Matt does have a new love interest. His new partner at a new law firm introduces him to a woman who is a therapist of all things. And man, the talks they could have. But that's essentially the first episode. And then we move into episode 2, and right at the beginning there's a man. Well, he's a man. We find out that he's actually another vigilante, but he sees two men roughing up a guy at the subway, and he gets involved and tries to stop them. And it turns out that those guys are cops. They don't announce themselves as cops. And one of them gets killed. The other one arrests the man that we see at first. His name is Hector. You find that out later, but they arrest him, and Matt is in the middle of speaking with another client at the police department, and he hears this guy getting roughed up by the cops, and he goes in and takes him on as a client. And you get a lot more back and forth between Matt and his partner. This episode, they're not happy that Matt took the case, but Matt, he just can't let this person go down. He can tell that he was telling the truth, but using his hearing and being able to read the body language of the man. And they find out that he is the White Tiger, who is another vigilante that's kind of popped up after Matt quit being Daredevil, and people needed protection. So at the end, and then at the end of the episode, Matt, he's trying to find the man that the Hector was trying to help on the subway platform, and he finds out where he is, and he goes to that man's house to try to get him and try to save him, because the officer that survived the altercation is coming to kill him. And Matt gets there first and tells the guy to go meet his PI, and then Matt gets in a fight with the two officers that have shown up to kill the guy. They're corrupt, they're dirty, and Matt goes all Daredevil on them. He's not in the suit, but he kicks their butt pretty brutally. And then it ends with him screaming. So he knows that he's going to have to be Daredevil again. I don't know how far we'll get before he does become the Daredevil again. I would say probably this next episode. And we do know the Punisher's going to be in it. So I would say that's probably he'll probably pop up next episode, or the one after, or episode 4. And I think that it's probably going to get a situation where Kingpin's not the big bad this time, I don't think. There is someone called the Muse. I don't know much about them, and I'm not. Before we go, I think Foggy could be alive. I know there is an arc in the comics where Foggy, this does happen to Foggy, but he's alive. So it would not surprise me if maybe he's in like a witness relocation program, or they're just protecting him right now until he can come back. And Well, that would really be neat, because I really like Foggy. I was mad when he, like I said, I was mad when he died, but I don't want to see that character gone for good. He's just a really sweet, wholesome character, you know. He kind of balances Matt's dark justice enforcer, I want to say. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you in this episode. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of episode 1 and 2. If you do, make sure that if you did, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because I will be doing this for all the episodes, and I will see you in the next one.